Shout out to my general, Rebel War Gaming, for supporting your boy the YB on the Patreon. Any other generals who want to receive exclusive videos, check me out, patreon.com/theyb. Now, moving on to today's video. As you might have seen by the title, this right here, you know my channel, normally it's quite funny and joking, but today we're on a serious topic. Tyson Fury has been missing for the last 72 hours. Again, in my last video, I said to you, man, I've spoke to authorities and they told me that, listen, YB, from the information we've had so far, from the information we've received from people close to Tyson Fury, we're hearing that the last thing that Fury, or the last known place Fury has been, was on his phone and on his Twitter. I said, well, what possibly could he have read? What possible, or do you have any information on the last thing that Fury read on his Twitter before he left? And they said, yes, YB. The last thing Tyson Fury read before he disappeared expeditiously was a tweet from Anthony Joshua. I said, what tweet was it? And that's when they showed me the exchange. Now, the exchange is what it is. Yes, AJ was airing Fury out about ducking the fight they were due to have booked in August. But that is what it is. Then they showed me a specific tweet which is confirmed to have been the last known thing Fury looked at on his phone. And it was a case of AJ exposing to the global audience the video of him standing there whilst his best friend's dad, Tom Saunders, got moshi bashed after Canelo versus Saunders happened, or after Billy Ho just jacked. Billy Ho just jacked. We've all seen the video now. Well, listen, if you haven't seen the video, you have now. Yeah? Now that AJ's brought it to everyone's attention. Now that AJ brought it to everyone's attention and aired out Fury on social media, we all know what happened. We all know that 6'9" alleged bare knuckle champion Tyson Fury stood there and did nada. So it's all kind of making sense now why Fury disappeared from social media. Many people have messaged me, YB, why hasn't Fury responded? Let's not forget, Tyson and AJ were in a back and forth. Fury and AJ were in a back and forth on social media. About 5-6 tweets each. And then all of a sudden, Fury stops responding. Now we know why. AJ ended Tyson Fury with that tweet. At which point we're hearing from people close to Tyson Fury, shortly after reading his tweet, he put his pink shirt on and went straight to the club and hasn't been seen since. He's now missing for 72 hours, been on a raging bender. Because he's deep in his feels. AJ put Fury all the way in his feels. He's feeling sick right now. It's Tyson Fury. He can't believe what's happened here. Because let's not forget, Fury's meant to be you know what Fury's like? Fury's meant to be Mr. Banter. He's meant to be Mr. Social Media. So I find it, I can't lie to you, man. I did find it odd that, wait a minute. Fury, since when doesn't Fury have the last word in? So we all know that, I should have known rather, that Fury's been taking his bad. Because I've never known Fury to be in a Twitter spat and not get the last word in. AJ has got off all over Fury on this one, no doubt. Made Fury look silly. It's funny, for years people said, AJ's a company man and Fury is so unhinged and Fury is so much quicker and AJ's too slow mentally. Next thing you know, AJ's literally getting off all over Fury. Yeah? Getting off all over him. Just busting all upside his cart right now. Glazed him. Sugar glazed. Listen, Fury's Barnet is looking bust glazed right now. Listen, fair play to AJ. AJ's giving him a nice glaze on his Bolt Barnet. Yeah, nice creamy glaze. Fury's rocking right now. After AJ got off all over him on social media. Now, like I said at the start of the video, this right here, it's not a joking matter. End of the day, I've heard that the authorities have interviewed AJ and said to him, AJ, did you need to go that hard? Did you need to roast him in that way? Did you need to expose him to millions of people that he stood there and did nothing? Did you need to expose his character? Did you need to kind of air him out to this degree? Yes, we understand you're frustrated that you've lost a massive fight. Yes, we understand that Fury's blagged everyone for years and gassed the place up about him being bare knuckle. But did you really need to expose him as a fraud to this degree? And I've heard from AJ himself said, you know what, authorities, you're probably right. I should have thought more about Fury himself. I should have thought more about Fury's family before I put this out. We didn't realise how deeply this was going to cut Fury. Yes, we know that Fury's been gassing the place up for 10, 15 years about how much of a warrior he is and how much bare knuckle he is. So we didn't really think about the implications of exposing him to so many people globally. But now, I've heard from AJ that he's going to take this on board for the future. Yeah, if Fury does return, hopefully he returns safe and sound. But if he doesn't, or if he does, for sure AJ won't be doing this again because Fury can't take it. Fury on the edge right now. This right here sent Fury over the edge. He on a mad bender. Ain't no one heard from Fury for the last 72 hours. He missing. AJ sent this tweet and Fury's been ended ever since. You man can't appreciate how peak it is to be Tyson Fury right now. All that clout he's built over 10 years, bare knuckle and all that, in one tweet, is gone. And if, YB, what are you talking about? Fury isn't missing. This hasn't put Fury deep into his feels, hasn't it? Where's the reply then, isn't it? If Fury isn't deep in his feels, if Fury wasn't feeling it 10 out of 10, if this hasn't sent Fury into a spiraling bender, then where's the reply? Because Fury's known, AJ's slow and AJ's boring and where's Mr. Banter's reply then? We need to know. Because Fury's meant to have lyrics for days. Fury's compared himself to Ali in the past. Well, I don't know about you, man, but I've never heard a prime. I never remember hearing a prime Ali short of things to say. I never remember a prime Ali not responding. AJ Fury, he missing right now. Fury ain't got no response. That's what the facts are. This right here categorically ended Tyson Fury and has been missing ever since. If you disagree, if you've got evidence to the contrary, please show it. Please show me where Fury responded to this. Because what I'm struggling with is he responded to all the other tweets. Isn't that amazing? Fury responded to all the other tweets. This one goes out, all of a sudden Fury missing. All of a sudden, I've got authorities telling me, YB, you got to stop putting your videos out because Fury's feeling it now. Your expose and your expose is combined with AJ's expose. It's doing way too much at the moment. Psychologically and emotionally, Fury's under it. Fury going through it right now. I said to him, listen, I do understand what you're saying, and I'm going to take Fury's. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to take his point of view and his emotions into things from now on. We can't stay roasting Dons. He can't take it. He's going to end up retiring again, is what they told me. So I said, listen, authorities, you're right. Maybe we have stayed on his neck a little too long. And they said, YB, truth be known, I think you need to let up that boot you've got. Them big Timberlands you got on. Maybe if you could just let him up a little bit off his neck. I said, you know what? No problem. Just a little piece I'll let up off his neck. And the thing is, what makes it worse is ever since we let that boot off his neck, that allowed him to go missing. It's the truth be known, I kept my boot on his neck to make sure he didn't go and play away from his wife again. So you can't win, can you? You keep your boot on his neck. He starts to feel it. You take it off, and he goes playing away on his wife. So it's one of them ones. 6 of one and half dozen of another. End of the day, Fury missing. So any of you men out there who know the whereabouts of Fury, approach him. Please, anyone who sees Fury out there, approach him with caution, because he in a bad place right now. He's been fully exposed. Now, whatever you do, don't bring it up. Don't say to him, Fury, why did you choke when your best friend's dad was getting moshed? Don't bring anything like that. He's likely to go over the edge. Just don't mention it. In fact, when you see him, the best thing to do is, I'm hearing, like I've spoken to Paris. Paris said, YB, please tell everyone that if anyone sees Fury, go up to him and kind of try and reinflate his character. Tell him, oh, Fury, you're the bare knuckle champion, ain't you? Oh yeah, Fury. You know what I mean? One of them ones. Gas him up, basically. If anyone sees Tyson Fury, don't mention the tweets or whatever else, because that will give him PTSD. What you need to do is say, Fury, you're the best bare knuckle champion ever, and Fury, you love to getting stuck in, don't you? You love getting stuck in street fights, that kind of stuff. Blow his ego up to where it used to be, because let's not forget, 72 hours ago, if I'd have told you, yeah. Or if I'd have asked the casual public 72 hours ago, if anyone asked the casual public, what do you think would happen if Tyson Fury was in a street fight? 72 hours ago, or, you know what I'm saying? 72 hours ago, if I asked the general public, what would happen if Tyson Fury saw his best friend's dad get moshed? Everyone would say, Fury would be straight in there. He'd be getting stuck in. They'd be saying, oh man, I'd feel bad for them. I'd feel bad for the man trying to do that to his best friend's dad. Oops. 72 hours later, AJ puts the tweet out, sends out the nuclear red button. And now we know what Fury would do. Fury wouldn't be in there. It wouldn't be bad for the people doing it. Instead, middle class Tyson Fury would stand there and freeze. Wow. That is the reality Tyson Fury is dealing with right now. He's going to need months and months of counselling to get over this. That whole bubble, Fury's been building this persona for 15 years. It's been popped in one tweet. Wow. Hashtag pray for Tyson Fury right now. He's going through it, no doubt.